Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back to my channel. Well, I usually lean towards creating clean and simple cards, but every now and then I like adding an interactive element. So, for today's project, I kept the clean and simple look on the outside, but gave it a playful twist on the inside. A cheerful pop up surprise waiting to be revealed. Before we dive into the pop up mechanism, I wanted to quickly show you the products that I'll be using for this card. I have this absolutely gorgeous bundle, which is the Magnificent Magnolias set. It includes a large stamp set featuring two bare magnolia branches, five elegant script sentiments, along with smaller coordinating sentiments. I believe there are 25 or 26 smaller sentiments. The bundle also comes with matching dies, perfect for die cutting out those beautiful florals. You can either use colored cardstock or add ink blending to white die cuts to build your own stunning magnolia arrangement, complete with that bold sentiment options. Plus, the set also has an embossing folder with intricate etched designs to create three different vase styles and coordinating stencils to help color in both the stamped images, that is, the bare branches, and the embossed details. This 3D embossing folder includes three unique vase designs inspired by modern ceramics. You could use them to create a full card front paired with a sentiment or cut them out individually to build your own custom design. For today's project, I'll be using one of the smaller vases inside the card as part of the pop-up feature. To add color, I'll be using these stencils to bring the stamped magnolia branches to life, as well as the embossed vases as well. Now that I've shared all the products that we'll be working with, let's start putting our card together step by step. For the base of my project, I chose two different pieces. The first one is a light pink A2 size card base, which will serve as the foundation of our card. To go along with that, I also prepared a white card panel, which is slightly smaller than an A2 size card base. I trimmed this panel down intentionally so that once it is placed inside, we have that soft pink border framing the white insert. That little detail adds a really clean and finished look to even the inside of our card. Now, because I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to showcase a vase with flowers as the main feature on the pop up, I decided to start by cutting those elements first. Having those pieces ready ahead of time gave me a clear idea of the size and placement of the pop up stand. This step is important because before I cut the pop up mechanism itself, I wanted to be sure that I had a good sense of where the vase and the floral arrangement would sit inside the card. That way, when the card opens, the elements pop exactly where I'm envisioning them, creating that fun surprise effect. I began this step by embossing the vase. You'll notice that I only used a small piece of cardstock for this, and that was intentional. I wanted just that one specific vase design for the embossing folder. So there was no need to run a full sheet through the embossing folder. The paper I chose for this is this absolutely gorgeous paper by Your Paper Insider and has the most gorgeous wood grain texture on it. I felt like that subtle detail would really enhance the vase, giving it a look of a textured, handcrafted ceramic piece. Now, before trimming out the vase, I wanted to add a little extra depth and dimension, so I reached out for my positively saturated inks from Simon's Stamp and used a couple of shades of browns to bring in some shading. To do this, I placed the embossed piece into my sticky mat, which kept it in place while I worked with the ink blending. Then, using the coordinating stencil, I added ink blending over the vase. The stencil has two layers. The first one covers the entire vase, giving it a smooth base color, and the second adds a subtle detailing to the lower portion of the vase. For the first layer, I used a lighter shade of brown, and for the second, I deepened it with a darker brown. Together, these layers really brought the vase to life and gave it a more of a dimensional and ceramic look. Now, the cardstock that I was using wasn't particularly a heavy cardstock, and since I knew that the vase was going to be part of the pop up feature inside the card, I wanted to reinforce it so that it would be a lot more sturdier. Interactive cards require the focal point elements to be strong enough to hold their shape when they pop up. To solve this, I backed the vase with a piece of craft cardstock which is almost identical to the shade of the wood grain paper. I cut the craft piece of cardstock slightly smaller than the main vase piece so it wouldn't show around the edges. This extra layer added stability I needed, making the vase more durable to be the star of our pop up mechanism. Well, you could also use a heavyweight cardstock instead, but I love that wood grain texture on that pattern paper. That's the reason I used it for this pop up element. Now that our vase is ready, we can move on to creating the pop up stand that will hold it in place inside the card. The nice thing about this step is that there isn't a strict rule about where exactly the pop up has to go. It really depends on the look you want. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that once your focal element is attached, it should sit comfortably inside the card and not hang off the edges when the card is closed. For my card, I decided to position the pop up feature slightly towards the right hand corner. I began by measuring and marking a 1 inch section with my pencil, which gave me the width of the pop up stand. The thickness or the width of the stand can vary depending on how large or detailed your pop up element is. Since I planned to feature the vase with a couple of flowers, I knew that my element would be larger size, so I gave the stand a little extra width to provide enough support. After making the marks with my pencil, I drew two parallel lines and then carefully cut along those lines using my scissors. If you're comfortable, you can also use an X-Acto knife or a craft knife for cleaner cuts, but personally, I prefer using scissors. It feels safe and more controlled in my hands. Now, once the cuts were made, I gently pushed the little tab or flap inwards with my finger, pulling it down firmly to create a crease. This simple fold is what turns the cut into a working pop up mechanism, forming a step like platform inside the card base. That step will serve as the stand where our vase and flowers can sit securely, ready to surprise the recipient when the card is opened. Now that the pop up mechanism was in place, it was time to bring the inside of the card to life by adding the decorative elements. I already had my vase prepared earlier, so the next step was to work on the flowers that would complete the arrangement. To save some time during the filming process, I had batch produced a number of flowers in advance using the Magnificent Magnolias die set. For these, I chose a few different shades of pink cardstocks to give the florals a soft layered look. In total, I had 5 flowers ready to go, two of which I plan to use as part of the pop up feature inside the card, while the remaining three would be reserved for decorating the card front. It actually took me a little while to play around with the placement and decide exactly which flowers worked best for the inside versus the outside. Sometimes that part of the process is just trial and error, moving pieces around until the balance feels right. Once I was happy with the arrangement, I was ready to adhere the flowers to the pop up stand. But before attaching anything permanently, I decided to add the sentiment to the inside of our card. I stamped the phrase, "I appreciate how you're always there for me no matter what," from the same Magnificent Magnolia stamp set. I felt like this message paired beautifully with the larger thank you sentiment that I had planned for the card front. Together, the two sentiments would create a really heartfelt message for the recipient. Now, I stamped this sentiment on the top panel using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which is a beautiful black crisp ink. With the sentiment stamped and the layout finalized, it was finally time to assemble the pop up elements, adhering the vase and carefully layering the flowers to complete the cheerful surprise waiting on the inside of our card. I began by applying a bit of liquid glue directly onto the pop up stand and carefully adhered the vase over it. I pressed it down gently and held it in place for a few seconds to give the glue enough time to grab and secure the piece firmly. Once I felt confident that the vase was anchored properly, I opened up the card panel and moved on to arranging the floral elements. Now, arranging the floral elements did take a little extra time and patience because I wanted to be sure that the flowers were not only adhered securely to the vase, but also positioned in a way that looked natural and balanced. At the same time, I had to pay attention to the card's dimensions as well, making sure that none of the floral pieces extend past the edges of the card base when it was closed. It was a bit of a balancing act, but once everything was in place, the arrangements started to really come together beautifully. You'll notice that only the vase itself is attached directly to the pop up feature, while the flowers appear to be floating above it. The structure comes together because the flowers are carefully glued to one another and anchored to the vase, creating an illusion of that light and airy arrangement. With that, the inside of our card panel is complete and it truly serves as a main highlight of this design. Now that the pop up feature is finished, we can move on to working onto the card front. Now, the card front that I'm creating is very much my style, clean, simple, and elegant, with a floral arrangement paired with sentiments and a few playful splatters for an added interest. I started by stamping the bare Magnolia branch towards the lower portion of my panel. For this, I used Memento black ink since I knew I'd be adding color with my positively saturated inks. You could also choose to add alcohol markers if you'd prefer that coloring method. Now, once the branches were stamped, I returned the panel to my ultra sticky mat and prepared to add ink blending using the coordinating stencils. To protect the edges and prevent any unwanted ink from spreading, I carefully covered them with post-it notes. For the branches itself, I used two shades of browns, which is mocha and cappuccino, to add depth and dimension. For the leaves, I used blends of green, including pine and field, which happens to be one of my favorite combinations for coloring foliage. Even with all these precautions, a small amount of brown ink did manage to stray onto the white panel, but that's an easy fix. We can cover it up later with a focal point image or scattering of sequences or even some of the splatters that we plan to add in the background. These little oops moments often just add character, and well, if you don't like them, you there are so many different ways to hide those strays or any kind of mistakes that you create. They just give us an opportunity to layer something more extra and some more creative details onto your card fronts. Once the branches were fully colored and ready, it was time to add the sentiment. I started by placing the panel onto my stamp platform and arranging the flowers on top, just to get a sense of where the sentiments would sit visually. At this stage, the flowers weren't adhered, they were there just for reference to guide my placement of the sentiment. Now, for the sentiment itself, I chose the phrase that says thank you from the same magnificent Magnolia stamp. And using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, I stamped the sentiment twice, which gives it a crisp and clean impression. Now, after the sentiment was stamped, I moved the panel into my splatter box to add some black watercolor splatters in a diagonal pattern. To protect the sentiment, I covered it with a sticky note so that no large blobs of watercolor accidentally landed on top of those words. While the panel was drying, I prepped the flowers for my card front. I added small pieces of foam tape to the backs of each of those flowers to give them dimension and help them stand out on the card front. I then carefully placed each flower on the branches, making sure not to cover the sentiment and ensuring that none of these flowers hung over the edges of the panel. These small touches really help bring the card front to life while keeping everything balanced and visually appealing. I like to use my reverse tweezers to hold all of these flowers in place so that I do not end up having any mess later. Now that our card front is ready, I decided to focus on finishing the inside of the card before attaching the front panel. To secure the pop-up feature inside the card, I applied liquid glue to one side of the pop-up card base and carefully aligned it along the fold of the main card base. It's important to make sure that the edges are snug and perfectly aligned so that the pop-up mechanism functions properly. Once that side was in place, I added glue to the remaining portion of the white card base and closed the card, pressing gently to ensure that both the panels adhered firmly together. I gave it a few moments to dry completely, then opened the card again to double check that everything was lined up and working as intended. With the pop-up mechanism secure and the inside complete, all that is left is to attach that beautifully designed card front to the finished project. Since I had already added foam tape to the flowers to give them dimension, I simply applied liquid glue to the back of the panel and carefully adhered it directly onto the card base. To add a few finishing touches, I also help cover that small bit of stray brown ink from the ink blending. I added some little sequin mixes across the card front. And just like that, our card is complete. One of my favorite things about this design that not only is it like a pop-up mechanism, but also there is plenty of space inside right below the pop-up feature to write your personal message. It's both interactive as well as functional, making it perfect for sending heartfelt notes to someone special. And there you have it, a beautiful interactive card that's both simple and full of charm. I love how the pop-up feature adds a fun surprise while keeping the overall design super clean and elegant. Now, all the supplies that I used to create this card project will be listed down in the description box below. Please note that all of these links are affiliate links, which means that if you shop using one of my links, I'll get a small commission at no cost to you guys. Thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.